You wake up every single morning with that same feeling. Something stuck deep in the back of your throat, like someone poured glue down there while you were sleeping. You twist your neck, you clear your throat, you try to push it out, but the mucus won't come up. It just sits there, stubborn, blocking everything, bothering you all day long. And at night, when you finally lie down, it drips down. And that dry cough starts up, the one that won't let you sleep, the one that wakes up your spouse, the one that makes everyone in the house roll over and sigh. What if I told you there's one oil, a single essential oil, that you can apply to your throat twice a day, and within a few days, it can completely change the way your body handles all that trapped mucus? I'm a physician, and over almost 20 years of clinical practice, I've followed hundreds of people who lived with this exact complaint: persistent mucus, throat clearing that never stops. That feeling of a dirty throat that just seems to never go away. And I want to share something with you that took me years to truly understand. Stick with me until the end, because I'm going to reveal not just what this oil is, but how to apply it the right way, how often, and the one mistake almost everyone makes that keeps the whole thing from working. And there's more. I'm going to share 3 simple kitchen remedies that work alongside the oil in a way you wouldn't expect. But first, I have to be honest with you. The title of this video talks about eliminating mucus for good, and I need to explain that properly because my commitment to you is medical truth, not hype. No oil in the world works a miracle by itself. What this oil does is powerful, yes, but it works as part of a bigger picture. And if you have mucus with blood in it, persistent fever, shortness of breath, or chest pain, that's not a case for essential oils. That's a case for seeing a physician in person right away. Deal? Now let me tell you about Margaret. 56 years old, a home cook who runs her own small catering business out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Mother of 4, grandmother of 7. The kind of woman who's up at 4 in the morning getting trays of biscuits and casseroles ready before the sun comes up. She walked into my office on a Tuesday morning, her voice hoarse and her eyes tired. She said to me, "Doctor, I can't take this anymore. For almost 2 years, I wake up with my throat completely blocked. Every single day. I've tried cough syrup, I've taken antibiotics 3 different times, I've done nebulizer treatments, I've cut out dairy. Nothing works. I can't even finish a phone call with my daughter without having to stop and clear my throat." And her eyes filled up with tears when she said that. Because persistent mucus isn't just a physical annoyance. It interferes with your life. It takes away the freedom to speak without stopping, takes away the joy of singing in church, takes away a full night of sleep. Think about that. How many people do you know who are constantly clearing their throat and we just treat it like it's a normal part of aging? It's not normal, and you don't have to accept living like that. Here's the point almost no one talks about. Persistent mucus is almost never just one isolated problem. It's the symptom of chronic inflammation in the lining of your upper airways, your throat, your sinuses, your voice box. These linings are the thin, moist tissue that coats the inside of all those structures. Think of them as the silk lining inside a fine jacket. When that lining is healthy, it produces a small amount of mucus, with just the right consistency, and you swallow it without even noticing. But when that lining becomes inflamed, irritated, attacked, day after day, it thickens, it swells, and starts producing too much mucus. Mucus that's denser, thicker, that won't drain, that won't go down, that just sits there, creating that feeling of something caught in your throat. And this is where the discovery comes in that took me a long time to fully appreciate in my clinical practice. Eucalyptus essential oil, specifically blue gum eucalyptus, known by its scientific name, Eucalyptus globulus. I know it sounds simple. I know plenty of people have heard of it, but let me explain why this oil is different from everything else you've probably tried. Eucalyptus contains a compound called eucalyptol, also known as cineol, and this compound has 3 main actions backed by studies published in serious, peer-reviewed journals. First, it's a mucolytic, meaning it breaks down the structure of thick mucus and makes it thinner and easier to clear. Second, it's an expectorant, meaning it helps the microscopic hair-like cells lining your airways push the mucus out. And third, it's anti-inflammatory, meaning it calms the inflammation in the lining that's producing all that excess mucus in the first place. A study published in Respiratory Research looked at the effects of cineol in patients with chronic airway inflammation, and the conclusion impressed me when I first read it. Cineol showed a significant reduction in symptoms of obstruction, cough, and mucus production within about 10 days of consistent use. Researchers at the University Hospital in Bonn, Germany, confirmed similar findings in patients dealing with chronic bronchitis and sinusitis. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever stopped to think about why your grandmother, when you were a kid with a bad cold, would put eucalyptus leaves in a pot of hot water and have you lean over and breathe in the steam? That wasn't an old wives' tale. That was folk wisdom, long before the science caught up to explain it. But hold on, because now I'm going to tell you how to apply this oil the right way. Because there's one detail that makes all the difference. The application is not inside your mouth. It is not swallowed. Pure eucalyptus essential oil should never be ingested. I'll say it again because this matters. Pure essential oil does not go in the mouth, is not swallowed, and is not applied directly to the skin without dilution. Doing any of that can cause serious irritation, burning, and in extreme cases, liver issues. The correct application is external, on the skin over the throat and chest area, always diluted. You'll need a carrier oil, which can be extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, or sweet almond oil. Take 1 tablespoon of the carrier oil and add 3 drops of eucalyptus essential oil. Mix it well. Now apply that mixture to the front of your neck, over the throat area, and also on the upper chest, gently massaging in slow, circular motions for 2 to 3 minutes. Do this twice a day, once in the morning when you wake up, and once at night before bed. Here's what happens. The cineol absorbs through the skin, and you also inhale the vapor that rises as your body heat slowly warms the oil. It reaches the airway linings, calms the inflammation, thins the mucus, and your body finally starts clearing out the buildup that was stuck. Before I go on, I want to ask you something. If this content is helping you, if you're learning something nobody had explained to you properly before, please tap the like button right now. That simple gesture helps this video reach more people who are dealing with the same thing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do that and turn on the bell. And let me know in the comments which state you're watching from. I love seeing where this community is growing. All right, let's talk about the allies that work with this oil. Because eucalyptus on its own is already powerful, but when you combine it with a few simple daily habits, the results come faster and last longer. The first allied remedy is ginger tea with honey and lemon. And in my clinical experience, this is the most effective internal combination there is for loosening stuck mucus. Take a piece of fresh ginger root, about the size of your thumb. Boil it in a cup of water for 5 minutes. Strain it, add the juice of half a lemon and a teaspoon of pure honey. Drink it warm, 2 to 3 times a day. The ginger thins the mucus from the inside. The lemon helps loosen secretions thanks to the action of vitamin C on the mucous membranes. And the honey coats and calms the irritation in the throat. In plain English, while the eucalyptus is working from the outside, the ginger tea is working from the inside. It's like attacking the problem from both directions at once. The second remedy is steam inhalation, and the details matter here. Bring about 2 cups of water to a boil, pour it into a heat-safe bowl, let the boil settle for a moment, and add 2 drops of eucalyptus essential oil to the hot water. Drape a clean towel over your head like a tent, and breathe in the steam for 10 minutes. Do this once a day, preferably at night. The steam carries the cineol directly into the airways. It's the most direct way to deliver the compound right to where the mucus is sitting. Think of it this way. It's like sending the remedy by express delivery. No detours, nothing lost along the way. The third remedy might be the most surprising, and it's old folk wisdom that science is finally starting to understand. It's a homemade red onion and honey syrup. Take 1 medium red onion, chop it very fine, place it in a clean glass jar, add 3 tablespoons of pure honey, and the juice of 1 lemon. Cover it and let it sit at room temperature for about 4 hours. Then strain it and store the liquid in the refrigerator. Take 1 tablespoon 3 times a day. I know it sounds strange. I know the first reaction is to wrinkle your nose. But red onions are loaded with quercetin, a natural anti-inflammatory compound that works on the respiratory linings. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry showed that quercetin significantly reduces airway inflammation in clinical models. Now let me tell you about Robert, 68 years old, retired construction foreman, originally from Akron, Ohio, widower, lives with his daughter just outside Cleveland. A man who smoked for over 30 years, quit 8 years ago, but was left with the cough and the mucus as a parting gift from those decades. He came to my office with a complaint that stayed with me. He said, "Doctor, I can't even have a conversation with my grandkids anymore without having to excuse myself every 5 minutes to clear my throat. I already feel old, I already feel weak, and now I have to accept that I can't even talk properly anymore." When I looked into his daily routine, I noticed patterns that repeated themselves in almost all my patients with chronic mucus. Not enough water throughout the day. The habit of having a glass of milk at night with his evening snack. A flat pillow setup with no elevation. And a very dry home environment, especially in winter with the heat running constantly. Each one of those factors is a piece of the puzzle. Low hydration makes mucus thick and sticky. Dairy at night, in people who are sensitive to it, can increase mucus production. Lying flat allows mucus to drip down into the throat overnight. And dry indoor air further irritates a lining that's already inflamed. I had Robert apply the diluted eucalyptus oil twice a day, drink the ginger tea regularly, take the red onion honey syrup, drink at least 8 to 10 cups of water spread throughout the day, prop up the head of his bed with an extra pillow, avoid dairy after 6 in the evening, and do the steam inhalation before bed. 12 days later, he came back, and he said something I'll never forget. "Doctor, it's like something unlocked inside me. I read a whole bedtime story to my granddaughter without stopping once. It's been years since I had that simple pleasure." And this is where the conversation really matters. Because what hurts me most as a physician isn't seeing a patient walk in with a serious condition. It's hearing them say, "I lived with this for years. I thought it was normal. I thought it was just my age." And nobody ever explained that there was such a simple way to help. That sentence stays with me, because it means the knowledge was out there, close by, accessible, but didn't reach them in time. That's why I make these videos. That's why I take the time to explain things slowly, with detail, with patience. Because a person who understands what's happening inside their own body stops being a passive patient and becomes an active participant in their own health. But now I need to give you an important caution. This approach works well for mucus caused by mild to moderate chronic inflammation, by sinusitis, by allergic rhinitis, by mild bronchitis, by environmental irritation. It doesn't work for everything. If your mucus is bright yellow, green, foul-smelling, or has blood in it, or if you have fever, shortness of breath, chest pain, or unexplained weight loss, that could be a sign of bacterial infection, pneumonia, or something more serious that needs prompt medical evaluation. And if you take blood thinners, if you're pregnant or nursing, or if you have a known allergy to eucalyptus or related plants, talk to your physician before using the essential oil. Children under 6 also have specific restrictions on eucalyptus use around the chest and throat area. These cautions aren't overkill. They exist because every body is different. The third patient I want to share is Eleanor, 62 years old, retired public school teacher from a small town outside Portland, Oregon, mother of 2 grown children. She'd had persistent mucus for almost 4 years, ever since a bad case of the flu that never quite fully resolved. When she came back to the office 3 weeks after starting the routine, she told me, "Doctor, I woke up this morning without that feeling. For the first time in 4 years, I woke up with a clear throat. I cried. I cried from sheer relief. My daughter didn't understand why I was crying, and I couldn't explain it to her. It's like I got back a piece of myself I had already accepted was gone." That sentence stayed with me, because it reflects something medicine sometimes forgets. We get used to discomfort. We start to believe that suffering a little bit every day is just how life works after 50. And it doesn't have to be. Let's recap what we covered today. Eucalyptus essential oil, specifically Eucalyptus globulus, applied externally, diluted in a carrier oil, on the throat and chest area, twice a day, is one of the most effective natural tools for chronic mucus when used responsibly. Alongside that, ginger tea with honey and lemon from the inside, eucalyptus steam inhalation, the homemade red onion honey syrup, plus good hydration, an elevated headboard, and being mindful of dairy at night. That's the full picture. Your body is not your enemy. When the mucus keeps coming back, when the throat clearing won't stop, when your throat feels constantly blocked, it's telling you something needs to change. It's asking for help. And now you have the tools to understand and respond. Share this video with that uncle who's always clearing his throat at the dinner table, with that neighbor who complains about her mucus every time you run into her at the mailbox, with your mom who wakes up early every morning just to clear her throat before her first cup of coffee. This information needs to reach the people who still think this is just part of getting older. And in the next video, I'm going to reveal the 7 foods that quietly increase mucus production in your body, even when you don't realize it. There are some on that list that are probably in your breakfast every morning, and you have no idea. You won't want to miss it. Take care of your throat, take care of your airways. They are the doorway for the air that keeps you alive. Keep that doorway clear, and the air will come in light.